Now, oil prices are spiraling downward. The cost of a barrel of oil is down 46% for the year. And just today, the price slipped another $2.44 to just over $55 a barrel. Now, two big reasons: the demand for oil has waned and supply is up. U.S. output hasn't been higher than it is now for the last 30 years. OPEC, the body that regulates world petroleum production, has refused to scale back production, which would have the effect of driving prices up. And it's doing that even if prices continue to nosedive. Now, all this is to say the glut of oil around the world is good news for Canadian consumers. We've already talked about BC Ferries eliminating that fuel surcharge. Prices at the pump have been steadily going down as well. A litre of gas hit 109.9 today in Vancouver and 95.9 in Abbotsford. But could the impact go beyond even that? I spoke with the editor of the Oil and Gas Investments Bulletin, Keith Schaefer. Have a listen. You know, when we see this move from BC Ferries eliminating the fuel surcharge, do you think that that could be extended when we consider other industries, airlines, jumps out at me?
Oh, absolutely, Andrew. What we've seen right now is a pretty large collapse in the price of oil, and really there's not a lot of sentiment that seems to see it coming back up in the near term. So for at least the next 6 months, I think consumers are going to be very lucky with lower oil prices at the pump, and any industry that takes a lot of oil, like the airlines, it's going to become very politically difficult for them to justify any kind of fuel surcharge, if not already, in the very near term.
And, you know, what about when we look at other industries that perhaps don't rely on oil in that same volume, but that rely on oil the same in terms of transportation costs? You know, I'm thinking of our local grocery store that needs trucks, diesel trucks to move food around, or taxis. You know, for example, do you think we could see that kind of proportional reduction in charges there?
You know, that's a tough call. I would say a lot of those industries have pretty high labor components. And certainly here in Western Canada, if the oil price is heading that big a collapse and the gas price too is coming lower despite winter coming, there could be some labor pressures that would allow prices to soften, plus the oil and gas fees to soften. So there's a little bit there, but I wouldn't think a lot. I think a lot of those other businesses really have such a big labor component. I don't see that oil is such a large piece of that puzzle. We're going to see any reductions directly due to the price of oil.
Here's the crystal ball question. How low does it go?
Well, long term, and I would say long term being anything more than 6 months right now, Andrew, you know, I see oil fundamentals looking at about a $65 to $70 barrel price range, probably a little bit on the low side of that. So that's where I see it, which is just where it was last week. So I think that's what people can look forward to once this kind of rocky, choppy patch is out of the way.
All right. Keith Schaefer, thanks for your time.
Cheers.